lot more. And for some reason, that drove all the young girls crazy. They scream and they yell. Looking at his guitar player, Elvis asked, "Hey man, what did I do wrong?" His guitar player said, "Don't worry. Whatever you did, do it again." And the crowd went wild. I feel like I am riding on the back of a tiger, and there's no point in getting down. Because you know what happened to you when you are in front of a hungry tiger. It is a privilege and honor for me to share with all of you a reflection moment of Walt. Anyway, Carol, thanks for asking. I am very fortunate I start with N.E.T. in the very early stage of the IDNX development. Back then, we worked very hard. We spent long hours from days into nights and into weekends, and Walt was always there. We used to call him Uncle Walter for his generosity and kindness. Whatever you need to buy, you come to Uncle Walter. Because he signed everything. Anything you need. I heard a rumor that N.E.T. is losing its share in the T1 market because of the IDNX is running out of steam. Is it true?
No.
Quite contrary. After 10 years, the IDNX is still selling very, very strong. Back in early 1980, when this Silicon Valley was booming, there was a tremendous shortage of electronics technicians. Nearby a Saratoga Catholic church, a Vietnamese priest asked Walt for his help to open an electronic training center called St. Vincent de Paul. I don't know how, but Walt was able to ask his company to donate a lot of used equipment for the center. Even though the equipment was used and old, but they still work. And that's all we need to start. I bet most of you do not know this, but because of Walt's help, by now, thousands and thousands of Vietnamese refugees have attended that training and have become technicians with good paying jobs. Thanks to Walt. When you walk into Walt's office, there's one picture that really stands out in my eyes. A picture of a golden eagle that says, "Eagle just don't fly. You have to find one at a time." Walt possesses sharp visions as an eagle. He thinks as fast as an eagle, but Walt can't fly like an eagle, no matter how hard he tries. Walt, enjoy your early retirements, and many thanks for your many years of leadership and friendships.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Tony. I don't know which I like better, Uncle Walt or the King. Had enough?
Yeah, I think so.
Too bad.
As we were planning the party for Walt, I never thought, oh, okay. I never thought that I'd be up here talking about Walt. I've always been the one to help Walt with presentations, not be up here to talk about him. So if I appear a little bit nervous, I am. I'm both happy and sad to be here today. Sad because Walt is leaving N.E.T. after 11 years, but happy that he'll be doing something that he's been looking forward to. I'm sad because I won't see Walt each day, but I'm happy because Walt will still be on the board, and I'll still see him on various occasions, and hopefully many occasions. I'm also sad that I won't be working for Walt as I have for 10.5 years, but happy that I've had an opportunity to work with such a great man. Wait a minute. Well, as you know, we dedicated the front page of our last company newsletter to you. We laughed about the many statistics that were included in this letter. In case you're wondering where they all came from, here's 11 years worth of calendars to those statistics.
They're all here, it looks like.
They're all there. If you're ever sitting around and thinking about what you've done at N.E.T. over the last 11 years, just flip through some of those calendars, and I'm sure you'll find some very memorable experiences. I certainly enjoyed looking through them and flipping through 4,113 days worth of customer visits, airline trips, and board meetings. So Walt, all I have to say is I'll miss you. You did a lot for N.E.T. And to Jean, good luck in having Walt at home more often.
Thanks, Carol.
Well, in the early days of N.E.T., we had some pretty tough objectives that we had set for ourselves. And as Tony said, we had to work pretty hard at it. In fact, our standard joke in engineering was if you only work 12 hours a day, that was a half day. We had a PERT chart like any complex project, and for every milestone, we wanted to signify that it had been met, or if it hadn't been met, there would be a public display of that as well. So Bruce Smith had the idea and had his secretary take some white styrofoam balls and spray paint some of them green and some of them red, and for every milestone, if it was met, a green ball would go in, and if it wasn't met, a red ball would go in. So, well, fond memories for someone who has exceeded all their milestones.
They're all green.
They're all green.
Thanks, Robbie.
I enjoyed that one. There's a notion of above and beyond the call of duty, and there are probably 100 examples for Walt of how he's lived up to that. But as we talk to people in the company and some of the old-timers, even people who had left the company as we call around, there's one story that seemed to come to everyone's mind. We'd like to use some props for this story. In the movies, the good guy wears a white hat and rides off into the sunset. In real life, the good guy goes backpacking once a year. And if a young company has an urgent need to send their vice president of engineering to meet with our new important partner called IBM, and the VP of engineering is off backpacking, what do? You send in a horse to go get him. It says, willing to go the extra mile, even on horseback, for Walt Gill.
Thanks, Robbie. That's very memorable. I'll tell you a little anecdote to that story is Bruce Smith, being a real man of action, wanted to send a helicopter in to get me into the immigrant wilderness area of Sierras. And of course we checked with the Forest Service to see if that was possible. And they said not only no, but hell no.